Good morning, y'all. This is Real with Robo, and this is a take two on a video that I just made. I felt it was too mean, so I'm going to try it again. This morning I was flipping through the shorts like I normally do, checking out Just Jen and the rest of them. And I come across a short where this transgender, I imagine, female, I guess the female wanted to be male, and she claimed to have MPD/DID. Now, as we all know, I am diagnosed with MPD, which has turned from that diagnosis into dissociate identity disorder or something like that. I don't know. I call it multiple personalities before they were cool. It seems like now the LGBTQ community wants to bully, pick on. I don't know what to call it, but it's pretty bad when you say that your head is filled with a bunch of males who are happy that they're female, but you're not happy because you want to be a boy. And then say that you suffer from DID. No. No. Okay? No. In this video, I wanted to explain some things to people out there. Like, a lot of people may think this is cruel, but with my diagnosis and every diagnosis that you have to have that diagnosis, I can fully understand why trans people get attacked. Granted, a small number of them get attacked for absolutely no reason, but many of them aren't honest and upfront and forward to the men that they want to sleep with, that they're not actually women. And that's why they get attacked. Now, you may think that is cruel, heartless, and mean. You may even say, "Oh my God, you're a psycho." Yes, I am. That's one of the diagnoses that you need to have in order to be MPD. I can understand the depravity of this world because I think absolutely everyone, including everyone I know, are capable of the most depraved things. And so am I. And you may think, "Oh, that's not even, what the hell?" It's part of my diagnosis in order to have the all-coveted diagnosis. I don't know, and I don't understand why people want to, actually I do. Never mind, because, I just thought about it, ran through it with my psychotic mind, and I understand why you want to have MPD, because you want to have an excuse for your bad behavior. You want to have an excuse for the way you're feeling. You want to be super validated because not only are you trans, but the personalities in your head are trans. So you're conflicted because they're celebrating and you're not. No. That's not how it works. You wouldn't know if they were celebrating. In fact, you wouldn't know if they would take over. And the last thing that you would care about is what gender you are. The first thing on your mind that is constantly on your mind when you suffer from MPD is trying not to present. They call it presenting, and it sounds so nice, doesn't it? Let my other personalities present themselves and be accepted and loved. It's a hostile takeover. It's more like being possessed. You can't control what the hell your body is doing. You don't know what the hell you're thinking. You just know that you did it, and there you are. People with MPD terrify their loved ones. Does that sound nice? Does that sound really nice? Does it sound like something you want to have? Do you want to terrify your husband, terrify your children when they present? Oh, but why don't you just present someone that's cool and someone that's nice? You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose their gender, their sex, their weight, their beliefs, their ideals, their views. You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose. You don't get to choose when they come out. You don't get to choose when they go back in. You don't get to give them a time limit. And every time after you do present, you're exhausted. You're praying to God that you didn't do something abominable. You're hoping that you haven't hurt anyone. Does that sound like a wonderful mental illness to have? Does it? Because I'll trade you. You could have preacher, you could have joker, you could have demon, you could have princess, cupcake, sunshine, sweetheart, whatever you want to call her. You can have them all. Do you know how hard it is to be understood and to have friends, quality friends, when you're diagnosed with what you have to be diagnosed with in order to have that most coveted diagnosis? Do you know? But you can't be psychopathic, Robo. You're on the verge of tears. Yes, because it hurts me. It hurts me to think that there are other people out there. Very rare to find somebody with MPD, never mind a female with male personalities. It's extremely rare. But to have all your personalities as a male, unheard of. Because it's bullshit. I'm thinking of all those people out there that were like me when I was younger and I presented. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know who I was. And even now today, 30 years later, 3 decades later, I still hurt for the person I hurt. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't control it. And you frickin' LGBTQ people want to make a mockery of our diagnosis, not your diagnosis, not our as in me and you or me and my alters, but me and other people that suffer from MPD like me. Our diagnosis. Now you make a mockery of that. Now you pick on the most vulnerable people. Now you bully the most vulnerable people, mentally ill people. But why would I expect any better from you? Hitler did it. Stalin did it. Mao probably did it. Everyone does it. They pick on the mentally ill. They pick on the elderly. They pick on the children. They pick on the health problem people. They pick on us. They bully us. They intimidate us. They make a mockery of us. They experiment on us. And no one cares. And now you're doing it too. The LGBTQ community is trying to cross into picking on the mentally ill. And don't say you're not. Because by taking our diagnoses when you're not diagnosed with it, nor any of the things that you have to be diagnosed in order to be diagnosed with it, you're shitting on us. You're literally saying, don't mind them over there that are actually suffering, that don't know what's going on. They're so young, they don't comprehend that multiple personalities are presenting themselves. Don't worry about them. Worry about me and my transgender issues, because all my personalities are male and I'm a female, and they're all happy that I'm going to be a female, and I'm not happy because I want to be a boy. That's not how it works. And even if it was, that's not how it works. If your personalities are so strong that they could actually break through your mental blocks of ignoring them and putting them in a box, basically putting a wall between you and them, if they're so strong to break through that wall, they're strong enough to take over. And quite frankly, there have been few but documented reports where the original host didn't even know that for years on end they were living a different personality, and that another personality was in control. Huh? Personalities don't talk to each other. I could feel my personalities, like if I meet someone, like when I met my husband, I could feel that all my personalities really, really liked him. And so he would be good for me. Because no matter what personality I was in, they would love him. And that meant at our core, we wouldn't hurt him. See, that's the thing. That's the hard thing about personalities, is that if you like someone and your other personality does not, it doesn't matter what the host likes if the other personality takes over. Okay? LGBTQ, you've crossed the line. You have crossed the line and did the unthinkable. You are mentally ill. You suffer from gender dysphoria. And now you are pushing people aside that desperately need mental help. Because I want you other people who are listening to this to think about this. Okay, you're diagnosed with narcissism. That's easy. You go get help for one problem. You're diagnosed with psychotic episodes. Easy. You go get help for being a psychopath, right? You're diagnosed solely with suicidal beliefs and ideations. So you go get help. When you are diagnosed with multi-personality disorder / DID, you have at least 20 other mental illness diagnoses. That means not only are you psychotic, you're borderline schizophrenic. You're also suicidal. You're also a narcissist in order to be a psychopath. Okay, you see where I'm going. Trans people suffer from gender dysphoria. It is a mental illness. It is one mental illness where you don't feel right in your body. You feel like you should be the opposite gender. And that's a mental illness. But to state that your quote-unquote other personalities are all men, all women, all whatever, and that's why you feel that way, you're not only taking from your own help by confusing things, you're taking from someone that actually suffers all of these diagnoses in order to be diagnosed with MPD. People with MPD, we confuse the shrink so much that they can't even give us diagnoses. We have so many diagnoses that they just say, okay, umbrella, it's got to be more than one person in there. Because every personality has their own everything that you have. Okay? So me, like say, if you were one of my personalities, you would have everything that you have right now. Your own thoughts, your own thought process, your own religious beliefs, your own views, your own deal. Take your whole person, everything about you, and put it in my head. And then put a constant struggle between me and you to not allow you to get out, because I don't know what you're going to do. And I would have no control over it. And the LGBTQ community thinks that it's cute to vie for attention by utilizing our diagnosis. Absolutely disgusting. absolutely disgusting, absolutely unacceptable. It is absolutely, unequivocally unacceptable. So as I started out, I understand why the LGBTQ community gets so much pushback, gets attacked. People are mad at them. People hate them. I understand it. And I can explain it. And quite frankly, I could probably justify it too. And you may think that's crazy and heartless. Oh my God, that's psychotic. Well, you know what? Yes, it is. Because I'm psychotic, borderline, schizophrenic, manic depressant, 5150, homicidal, suicidal, Herculean strength, etc., 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 etc. I have a file cabinet full of diagnoses. You have gone too far. You do have a mental illness. Trans people, LGBTQ people. You do have a mental illness. And you need to seek help for that mental illness. But you don't need to take services from other mentally ill people to vie for attention. You don't need to take empathy from other mentally ill people in order to vie for attention. And that's the problem with y'all. Y'all are attention whores. You're selfish. You're narcissistic. You're uncaring. You're unsympathetic. So you're close to having at least the psychotic part of the diagnosis. I don't know if you have people talking to you in your heads. Clearly that person does with all her male personalities. You don't know what it's like to suffer like we do. And just because you suffer from your own choices in life, you shouldn't make people suffer who don't have that choice. We don't get to feel good when we feel good, want to feel good. We don't get to forget about everything and just let our guard down. We don't get to not worry about terrifying our loved ones. We don't get that. You get that. You could choose to validate yourself, accept yourself, and be who you are. Or be miserable, like you are all the time. And the reason you're miserable all the time is because you look for outside sources to accept you. And not all people, it is a well-known fact, not all people will accept you. Not all people will accept me. Not all people will accept normal people. It's just how the way the world turns. But when you find those people that don't accept you, you push on them. You prod on them until they react, and then you play a victim because you're selfish and narcissistic. And you need to make sure the world knows that woe is me. Look what happened to me. It's not because I did anything. Yes, it is. And you're playing with fire when you play with mentally ill people. I don't encourage violence. But I'm going to tell you right now that the diagnoses that MPD sufferers hold are not friendly diagnoses. And if the core belief happens to be you don't pick on those who are smaller than you, quote unquote, you don't bully people, it could get bad. Especially if one of those personalities slip. I'm just letting you know. I'm not threatening you. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to put you in fear. I am letting you know what you're dealing with. Because apparently, you will tell the world that you're LGBTQ, but you won't tell a potential lover that you're LGBTQ. And then when you get to the room and everything is hot and heavy, all of a sudden Mr. Floppy comes out and you wonder why they react the way they do. Well, if you suffered from MPD like I do, you would understand. Because understanding depravity is one of the diagnoses. Understanding that people are capable, all people are capable of the most horrendous things is part of the diagnosis. If you suffered from MPD, you would know why that happens. And you wouldn't be ashamed to speak about it. You see what I'm saying? Do you? How about you stick to shoving your ideals down adult, normal people's throats? And how about you stop harassing the children, harassing the elderly communities that have grown staunch in their ways, and stop demeaning us. We know who we are. We know what we are. We don't like it, but we accept who we are. And we suffer daily. And LGBTQ community, we don't need your help. Okay? We don't. And that goes for all my personalities and me. And that goes for all the people that suffer from MPD like me. You suffer from gender dysphoria. Go get help for gender dysphoria. Stop trying to take from other people. And especially young people. Huh? Stop trying to take from them. Because the LGBTQ community can't understand why there's such a pushback and why there's such hatred. Maybe it's because you do what you complain about. Everybody pushes their ideals and their religion and everything like that down our throat. Well, you push your sexuality down other people's throat, so you're no different from the rest. Okay? Quit picking on the MPD community. You don't have MPD. Letitia Stout didn't have MPD. YNW Melly doesn't have MPD. I have MPD. And the diagnoses that go with MPD are the reason that a lot of people can't understand me and that they think I'm cold-hearted. and they go, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. You're capable of saying it too, and you're thinking it too. The only difference between me and you is that I don't find no problem in saying what I'm saying. I don't see the big deal. What I see the big deal as is that the LGBTQ community is now trying to excuse their bad behavior by taking our diagnosis and trying to play like they are what we are. You're not. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you are. You don't accept you for who you are. How the hell can others accept you for who you are? Get right with yourself. Get right in your mind. Go get help. And stop picking on people that are smaller than you. You're nothing but bullies, jerks. And this person that is talking about her little head mates, you're an idiot. And that's real with Robo.